I was walking out of the store when an old man on a red mobility scooter rolled up next to me and asked if he could carry my groceries. I told him no thanks and started walking home. I shifted my grocery bag to my other hand, slipped my wallet into my back pocket, and clenched my keys between my fingers like my mom taught me. When I glanced back half a block later, he was still rolling behind me with that little basket up front. I walked faster. The scooter matched my pace. I had no idea what this old man wanted from me, but it couldn't be good. I kept glancing back the whole walk home, and every time he was still there with the scooter humming behind me. I took my usual left turn, and he took the same left. A block later, I turned onto Walnut, and so did he, and my chest tightened. Who was this guy? Michael Myers? I was full-on speed walking now, looking back every few seconds, but I couldn't lose the hum of the scooter. Every true crime podcast I'd ever listened to started playing in my head. I dropped the grocery bag and sprinted. I cut through somebody's yard and looped around the block with my heart pounding. When I finally turned onto my street, he was already there at the far end with my front door halfway between us. I ran. I burst inside, slammed the door, locked it, and pressed my back against it. My hands were shaking so hard I couldn't steady them. Outside, the hum got louder until it stopped right in front of my apartment. 3 slow knocks. I crawled to the peephole and looked through it. The old man was holding something up in one hand. It took me a full 5 seconds to realize it was my wallet. I checked my back pocket. Empty. I slowly opened the door. "You dropped this in the parking lot," he said. I tried to catch up, but these scooters don't go very fast. I took the wallet with both hands, too stunned to say anything except thank you. He nodded and started turning the scooter around, then paused. "You should be careful walking alone at night," he said. "Lots of weirdos out here."
I threw a paper airplane in class, and it smacked my physics teacher in the back of the head. He snatched it off the floor and held it up. "Who did that?" "Sorry, sir," I said, pointing across the room. "I was aiming for the trash can." The class erupted in laughter, but our teacher crushed my plane in his fist. "The trash can? The drag coefficient alone makes that throw physically impossible. You were never gonna make it." I took that as a challenge and stood up immediately. "I can absolutely make it." He rubbed his chin in deep thought before saying, "Let's bet on it. You land the airplane and this whole class gets full A's, miss, and you stand up here every morning and apologize to me." I smirked because I knew I had him, and then I reached out and shook his hand. "Deal." I pulled out a fresh sheet and folded the exact plane I'd folded 1,000 times before, creasing every fold slow while the class chanted my name. I cocked my arm back and threw it straight up as fast as I could. It shot off my hand and went straight to the ceiling, but it stalled at the top of a lazy loop, and the chant died as someone groaned, "It's dropping." But the nose swung down and swooped out of the dive, and the whole room roared back to life. Halfway across, it drifted way offline. A kid yelled, "It's gonna miss," and the teacher cupped his hands. "Start practicing that apology." But the heavy nose I'd creased banked it back on course, and I sighed with relief. But 10 feet from the can, it dipped low again, and it nearly scraped the desks, and I almost passed out thinking I'd lost. At the front, the teacher had already grabbed a marker and was writing "apology schedule" across the whiteboard. But the plane caught a pocket of air, leveled out, and locked dead straight on the can. The marker fell from his hand, and he screamed "No" as he bolted across the room to swat it down. But his shoe slipped mid-lunge, and he landed flat on his stomach 2 feet from the can, lifting his head to watch my plane sail over him and drop in. The class exploded out of their seats as I plucked it out and held it up in front of his face. "Sir, you're looking at the state paper airplane champion, and I was always gonna make it." He slapped the floor and called out, "Full A's, everyone gets full A's."